Um,
We here.
oh, let's see. Um, which one do I want to say? Oh, I do. I got one from yesterday. Hold on, let me get it. Because I think a lot of times we look at things and we forget our purpose. And the enemy comes in. He has purpose built blocks to block us from our blessing. But if we press towards the mark
hmm
and push through, no matter what's going on in our life, God will get the
hmm
victory in everything we do, and we give him the glory through it. So, that's just all in all. I can go back to my child, even in her accident, where they said her brain was 5%, and they said she will never walk again. And her brain is functioning well, and it's almost back at 100%. And her nerves and her legs are moving. And so just trusting God no matter what. But
Okay.
I go to Philippians 3:14-15. It says, I press on toward the goal to win the heavenly prize of the upward call of God in Christ Jesus. All of us who are mature, pursuing spiritual perfection, should have this attitude. And if in any respect you have a different attitude, that to God will make clear to you.
Mm.
So, and that's Philippians 3:14-15. And I just look at no matter what goes on in our life, if we press towards that mark of the higher calling, we'll be in perfection with God. So,
I received that. Keep on going.
yeah.
Keep on going. Don't settle. I love it. Thank you for our motivation this morning. Awesome.
Well,
As I prepare to, do we have any reflections on that? Just want to ask, do we have any reflections before I move on?
Uh, Adrian said she was gonna log out and let her back in.
Okay.
Okay.
Adrian, are you back in? Yeah, she's back in. You good, Adrian? All is well? Okay. I'm on a different computer. I could see her if she comes back in. Um, so yeah, guys, we had an interesting topic the last time we met, and we're just gonna jump right back in it. But it was really a realization for us to just come to, a point and say, who are we? We have to know our audience, but how do we learn? And so this is chapter 4, one of the key chapters that are going to prepare for our state board testing. It says basic teaching skills for career education instructors, but this is basic learning styles and principles. And so our main objective is how well does the student learn, and learning, identifying, discovering how that student learns. Okay, how well do they learn? How well do they pick up stuff, retain it, and repeat it? Okay, that's learning. Okay, you teach, they retain, they process it. Okay, and they repeat. If it cannot be repeated back to you, something happened in the process of learning, either the teaching component. Here's Adrian again. Either the teaching component, the processing of the information, or the retaining of the information. Okay. And so a lot of times we have to sit back. Yeah, we're in the classroom. Sometimes you can sit back on the passenger side so you can see how things look from that view as well. And so looking at our critical concept, just a review, because we did go over half of this already. Um, It says traditional academia has taught in ways that appeal to basically two intelligence. Either you're going to be verbal or you're going to be logical. Okay. But there's so many other intelligence, and then there are multiple intelligences as well. And so we can discover that some of our students, especially there's generational gaps. We may learn that there's more learning personality on one side than on the other one. And so you will also find individuals that have multiple learning personalities, we call intelligences. Um, and it allows them to use their full brain. And so you may even see those particular students is like, and this student is just she learns a lot. She is able to retain information. When you bring it here, you bring it there. And so that's good for us to observe, because when it comes time for prepping, we can give them more things in more than one way. Okay, more than one way. And so let's look at our goals. Of course, we want to teach at least when it says list 4 important steps in learning, we want to know those 4 important steps in learning, because if those steps are not, we don't go through that process, there's a gap. So actual learning is not taking place. You know, we can be in classrooms and we can say, hey, we did an amazing job. I prepped this class. I killed it. But you didn't kill it. You didn't do anything amazing if the students can't remember what you taught. Okay. And so this is what I try to always just keep it 100, 100, 100, 100 with everybody. We can, if it's not benefiting the student, the learner, we haven't done anything. Our ultimate job is to make sure that that student knows what we know. Okay. Are they able to repeat what we know? And then has what our knowledge, has it gotten to a point where it's embedded in the student, that if it ever any reference come up, can they retain that information? Can they go back to it somewhere and pull that information up? So it's ultimately, we're teaching. Sometimes it's like adopting our students as children. We have to care and purposely, be in their lives while they're here in the building with us, while they're in the classroom with us. And how we feel so strongly about our own children, our own family members, we have to share that same strong discernment, that feeling, that passion. We have to share that in the classroom with each student. And so if we share that, I do believe that whatever's on us will get on the students. Okay. And I saw something disturbing yesterday, and it was a young lady saying goodbye to her Hispanic students who were saying they were withdrawing from school. And she said, remember what I taught you, you know? And the young lady started to say, I'm never gonna forget you. You taught me this, you taught me that, you taught me this. And she said, yeah, remember to study your words. Remember to do this. She said, I never forget it. And at that point, I was like, man, we could have taught for 20 years. And that one moment meant everything to me, because that student will never forget what that teacher taught them, even down to the last minute of the words, how to do math problems. This is what they were sharing. And I said, man, I want to be just as impactful, even if there are barriers, just as impactful. But when you leave my presence, never forget what I taught you. And so that's our ultimate goal. And how do we do that? We teach, and the student unknowingly, they learn and don't even know that they're learning. We're learning about them, and then we adapt our lessons and teach them. And before they know it, hey, I learned how to do procedures without reading. You were like, what? I've had a student that couldn't read, but I had to teach her how to do procedures, how to do a manicure, how to do nails, how to do this and how to do that. And she needed the extra time visual, but she just, I had her cut the pictures out, and that's how I tested her and put them in order, how they go. her barrier was reading. And so I had to learn how she received information. So it was very visual and very logical. But at the same time, she also knew how to count money. And so that tells me she's good with numbers, she's good with systems. And so we just kind of jumped on top of that barrier. And she just, in the meantime, she wasn't at school, she worked on her literacy. But when she was in school, I didn't want her not having to read, knowing a lot of words, really prevent her from finishing school or making a decent grade. And so that's just something when you sit back and you see what's going on in the classroom or with that individual, you're able to adapt your lesson. And I tell people all the time, it is okay that even if they gave it to you A, B, C, D, all the way down to Z, when you get to M, don't freak out because there's something that comes up that you can't go to the next letter. It's always a good thing to find a new way to do something. And it's okay to have interruptions. It's okay to figure out problems, to get some problem solving skills of how do we deal with this? How do we jump over this barrier? And so, even though things are laid out, you may run into some rocky roads in the learning and the teaching process. So, it's okay to figure out a different way to do something. I can say that 10 standing on all 10 because I own the school. But I can also say that because I love what I do, I have a passion for teaching, and I love people to teach people, and I love to see the light go off when they learn. And I just understand that everything is not going to always be peaches and cream, or the set way you start out may not be the way you finish, but we get there. Okay. And I'm okay with that. But I've had to really in large settings teach educators it is okay to not to really discover something else along the line as you're teaching. So as we consider the 4 important steps in learning with each lesson, we're going to determine, this is very important, the student's learning style and how to teach to them. All right, so that's our biggest thing. We're going to incorporate a variety of delivery methods into every class session. I want you to, in your minds, highlight delivery methods. Okay. Ms. Chapman has a different way of delivering. Ms. Malone has a different way of delivering the message. Ms. Owens and myself, we all have a different way of delivering. Okay. But did the message get out there? Did the message get out there? Yes. We just delivered it differently. Okay. Did all the students learn something? They did. Did they receive the message the same way? No. It all came to them differently because they learned differently. So as you get more and more experience and you study and you glean and you evaluate yourself, you'll pick that up. That's not something that's driven in your first teaching job, but it's something that will match with your gift. It explodes. Okay. Let's look at the role of the educator. You are the facilitator of learning. Okay. Many people need to understand what a facilitator is. You're the line leader. You're the one that speaks up. Your voice is the loudest. You give the instruction in the class. You're the facilitator of learning, which means you're the teacher, the number one educator in the room, the one that's the most credentialed. You is your way. Okay. I didn't say it's the highway, but I said it's your way. You're the facilitator of learning, which means you're the one that our learning comes through. I recently, maybe a couple of months ago, I had to stamp down on being a facilitator of learning. Here's the situation. I got a young lady that loves to do a particular service. Okay. And she loves to do a particular service, but we're not in that place anymore. But I understand students like to go to where they're comfortable. And so I guess because they feel like they had mastered this area over here, that they can go over here. And had a newer student say, hey, I want to learn how to do that. So as I was teaching over here, this student took it upon themselves to put on the role of facilitator of learning and take the other student over to the other side and start teaching the other student a certain skill set. And at that point, now we have two facilitators of learning. Okay? We can't be divided. It's only one facilitator of learning. And what we learn and what you're learning, what I'm teaching you, it all flows like on one scale. So you're not going to go out of line learning something beforehand. You know, this is what happens a lot of times when individuals go and get a whole lot of certifications and not the foundation, and they're all over the place. So I had to say, all students need to be here one time. I'm the teacher. If anybody's going to do any teaching, I'm going to be the one doing the teaching. And at one point, yeah, I didn't really care how it went over because I needed to grab a hold and be the facilitator of the class. I need to be the line leader again. And I think I've said it once or twice before now. So I needed to really jump in and let it be known. I stated there's only one teacher. And if anyone's going to be doing any teaching, I will be doing the teaching, you will be doing the learning. Okay. And so I had to reinforce that by simply saying those individuals that have the license, they're the ones required to do the teaching. And, not to step on anybody else's toes, but if you have not, well, it is to step on some toes. If you have not completely mastered this, we should not be teaching anyone else. And so that had to bring it all the way back down. There will be no sidebars. There will be no sidebar training classes, especially if the person that's trying to teach hasn't mastered what they're trying to teach. And so just had to bring that on back down. So as educators, we need to remember, first, we are the learners. Once we learn, we teach. Okay. And when we teach, we are considered the facilitator of learning. Okay. We administer the lessons for the learners. All right. And so there's no other competition of anybody else coming in co-teaching with you unless it's supposed to be co-teaching with you. But I want all my teachers and anybody, even if you don't attend DCI, to stand in those shoes of master educator and become the facilitator of learning for your classroom. The moment that you give up your classroom, you lose it. Yes, there will be people that come in who try to teach everybody everything or who know everything, okay? But you have to always, with tact and discernment, come back in and give reminders of who's the facilitator of learning, okay? Become the learning catalyst, okay? If you know anything about catalyst, it projects forward, okay? It has a quick, rapidness to it. And so be the learning catalyst. Always bring something new, something fresh, and a rapid approach to teaching and learning. And so everybody's not going to learn the same. Be able to adapt, change, move however you need to move. Learning styles defined, which you can go over this with your students. And a lot of times I like to see my students work, or I even tell them, y'all share with me, how well do you learn? And I love talking about test taking. And when I say I love talking about test taking, because I get to hear some of their fears, some of them, and it tells me how I should approach different things, especially when it comes to testing, to get rid of those fears. Be analytical about your presentation style. Now, here's the thing. We're virtual. Can't put a pass. The program was proposed. The program was approved by the state to literally be 85% virtual just for the instructor training program. I don't think nobody else in the state has that. But literally, we put a proposal in, a permanent proposal for our course to be 260 hours virtual, 40 hours in house. Okay. And that would equal 300 hours. Now, that percentage may go up or down, but at the end of the day, this is the platform we're working with. This is the approved platform. What can I do different? Number one, I can change my tone. It's intentional for your tone to give a little variety. Okay? Because if we just go like this, role of the educator, facilitator of learning, learning catalyst, learning styles defined. I sound like AI. What happens to the person on the other side? They get bored. That's how I said, oh my goodness, here we go again. So it's good to add some sound. It's good to add some rhythm. We talked about adding rhythm. It's good to add some sound. It's good to add some rhythm in the background. It's good to add a color background. Even cut our cameras on sometime. It's good to change your tones. Your tone can go up and down. You can do many different things virtually that can still enhance the students' learning. Okay. And it doesn't have to be monotone. Now, when we talk about analytical presentation style, I will look at who is in my room. If I have more rhythm learners, I'm definitely going to have that radio on in the background. I'm definitely going to create the playlist for the class and run that in the background. You may say, what? I'm creating a playlist for the class and run it in the background because that rhythm and beat is going to help them stay on task to get the job done. And we all, at the end of the day, because at the end of the day, I want to do a little evaluation and say, hey, give me your top three. And I may say, give me four people. Stand up right now, real fast. Give me your top three. And I may have chips in a bag. Okay. And the student may get four people to stand up. And if they give me a top three, rapid fire, really, really fast, top three things you learned today, I'm going to throw them a bag of chips. I'm going to throw them a snack. I may do it at lunchtime because they want to take the snack on lunch. They hungry. They've been here all day. I may strategically do it at lunchtime just to see how much they learned before they go to lunch. Okay. And a lot of times it's like children again, kindergarten. I want to get that snack, so I want to make sure I learn. I want to make sure I give the right answer, give close to the right answer. And so that's one way that I look at as far as presentation, being active, being interactive with them. And what's not working, if I don't get the responses that I should have got based on what I've taught, that tells me the areas I need to go back and spend a little more time in. So when we talk about presentation style as well, I am a very interactive person. I like my students to talk to me. Okay. I like them to talk to me. I'm very interactive. I like my lecture, but what I may do in my lecture is make sure that I ask some questions beforehand. And I may tell them, as you see the answers, this is what I want you, as you listen, grab the answers to those questions. We're going to talk about it at the end of the lecture. Okay. Then you got some people that just talk. You got some people that just demo. They just do visual stuff. You got people that do them both together. Okay. So learning your best presentation style, what works good for you, and then adapting that style to how they learn. You may teach the same thing every day, but you may deliver it a totally different way because there's a different group of people in front of you. And so that's always something to even share with your students. No two classes are going to be the same. That's why you don't miss school, because you don't know what you're going to miss. And sometimes you got to be, I would say, a little animated simply because you got Gen Z who pretty much are the breadwinners, the most estimated breadwinners. They have the most cash on hand. Okay, the most cash on hand is Generation Z as of last year. The most cash on hand. That means these young people got more money than they people. Okay, they got the most cash on hand. They're good with what works right now. Okay, and they're good with, oh, it may not work later. Let's do what works. Let's roll. And so you have many different people in the classroom. So you're going to have to make sure your style adapts, the style of teaching adapts to those individuals. Comments. I think there's something in the chat. Okay, what we got? Okay. Yes, Ms. Malone said go to sleep. Yeah, we don't want them to go to sleep. All right, let's look at our learning style profiles. All right, so profiles, this is something that we're going to look at. Okay, these are comparable styles. All right, interactive learners. Okay, these are the ones that are going to be like, Miss Owens, why? Why you decided to do that? What made you want to do that? They watch everything. They're listening to everything you say. They're sometimes called your favorite student. Okay. Sometimes called teachers' pets. They're not shy at all, but they are interactive with you. Okay. They don't mind telling you they don't understand something, but help them understand, break that down one more time. And they give feedback. Okay. They give feedback. And this is your interactive learners. And then you have your reader, listener learners. Okay. They ask what? Okay. What if? Okay, I see how that's done, but what if this happened? What happened after that? You know? So you have those learners that go a little bit above and they go a little bit too far sometimes, and you have to reel them back in. A lot of times you don't want them to get off of what the primary goal is. Okay. But even when we're preparing for our lesson, and on the lesson plan, you may have a place that says questions or notes. As the educator and the one doing the facilitating of that lesson, we also not only have to teach, but we also have to come up in our brains, what possible questions could these students ask? What by me teaching this subject, what questions would a person ask? And I need to study and prepare myself to answer those questions. And those questions may be questions that you present before, because the student is just learning. They don't know what questions on the first day to be asking. So you can introduce that type of questioning to them, that language, and then it just grows from there. You set a bar and it grows from there. But definitely, interactive students are the why. They want to understand how that works. And the reader, listener learners, they're listening. They're saying what? What if? Okay, I understand that part. If we pull this in, what if? All right. They also work well with their educators. Okay. They're compared to analytical learners, which means these individuals go by SPACs. They go by stats. Okay. They go by the measurements of, okay, let me see if they don't have to see the visual if it makes sense on paper. All right. Then you got systematic learners. All right. They compare this to your common sense learners. Your systematic learners, uh, they sit down to study. Okay. They retrieve more of the information. They want to know how something works. These are individuals that if you give them a to-do list, they're going to do that to-do list. They're not going to divert from that to-do list. These are also the individuals that want you to give them step by step how to cut a 0-degree haircut. If they see us doing something off of those steps, it throws them off. This is the person that wants to know how to do acrylic nails step by step by step. They are mentally recording how to do it in their mind, and also they're note takers. All right. If we divert and do something thinking we can pull in a shortcut, we throw this student off. Because sometimes we got to know our students. We got to teach the long way before you can teach the short way. I found that teaching the short way, it blocks them out. They don't want to learn the long way. Okay. Which at that point they start wanting microwave. They start wanting shortcuts. So I tell them, I got to teach you the long way. Let's get this so I can teach you how to knock it out. Okay. And I do that with finger waves and acrylic nail application, pedicures, anything that's systemic, color applications. Let's learn the long technical way first. And then I give you some nuggets. I give you some shortcuts. But we got to learn something. We got to learn the correct way first. So these are your systematic learners. These individuals, you give them a to-do list, they got it done. Okay. They do work well with others. If they're feeling challenged, they're going to go back to what the book says. All right. So as a facilitator, as an educator in the classroom, it's our responsibility to make sure we know what we're talking about. Okay. Because this is the student that has already studied before they ask the question. They already know the correct answer before they ask the question. Okay. Before you even give the answer. So be prepared for that. And then you have your intuitive learners. All right. Your intuitive learners are like, they can be challenging, boundary breaking. They love uniqueness. But when I say intuitive, they're also the what if, but also this person could be categorized as creative, full of ideas, and just need an outlet. This person probably will always, this type of learner may always push and challenge what another person knows. So think about a debate. You may say, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They may say, but why not? Why it can't be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? And it's just the purpose of them challenging. Okay. Sometimes with these particular students, you have to be so on top of your game that when you over teach, over educate, it kind of shuts that down because now they feel like, oh, she knows what she's talking about. There's no room, there's no gaps for challenge because we put it all on the table. Okay. So even in our classrooms, we got to understand who's in the classroom. This is how they're perceiving the information. This is what's going on. And those will be considered our learning styles. We have sensory learning styles. That's what we talked about our last class. And as we begin to look at those, let's look at sensory. You have visual learners. Okay. 35% visual learners, auditory, 25%. Okay. Kinesthetic, 40%. So here's the thing. Visual, they're only grasping 35% of what they see. They're only taking in 35% of what they see. Okay. So a person cannot learn just from listening. Auditory, they're only retrieving 25% of that. In order for someone to really grasp this, they got to be taught, they got to hear it 4 times. And I always tell people sometimes we, get mad at our kids or whatever because you say, I know you heard me. I know you heard me. Literally, if you only said it once, they only received it 25%. It hasn't registered yet that that's what you want them to do. Okay. So yeah, parents, sometimes you do have to repeat. And so didn't I tell you to take the trash out? I told you to take the trash out. What happened to you taking the trash out? Did you do your chore of taking the trash out? You was that, are you serious, Miss Cox? I am 100%. By the fourth time, that's 100% that they have received, I gotta take the trash. Okay. And so we look at the same logic in the classroom. 40% of what they do. Okay. So you can tell the students, do this. After I do it, I want you to do it. Okay. After I do it, I want you to do it. But here's the thing, they can watch you do it, but they need to match the visual component and they need to be able to understand it. Okay. And then they also need you to be able to teach it. So I need you to say it. I need to probably see, I need you to say it, teach it. I need to probably watch a video on it. And then I need you to show me a demo. At that time, we got 100% learning taking place. So at all times, we need to know at the end of the day in our classrooms, my students need to hear me teach it. They need to see me do it. Okay. There needs to be a point where they practice. All right. And then I need to be able to show them something. I need to show them something visual, magazines, photos, websites, videos. All of those are components of them fully learning. Okay. All of them are components of them fully learning. The next couple of slides are going to be amazing. When we talk about retaining information, I got it. I understand it. I can pull it out when I get ready. Okay. So 10% of what they read, 20% of what they hear, 30% of what they see, 50% see and hear, 70% say and write, and 90% of what we teach. So no one can afford to just say, hey, I'm going to wing it today. I'm going to get into I'm going to be an educator because this is my retirement. And I can just, my last 10, 15 years, I'm going to wing it. I'm a bank on myself. We don't do that no more. It's not allowed anymore. Okay. You're going to have to work. And really based on, yes. Ms. Malone says, go to misconceptions. Yeah, repeat at least 3 times to grasp the concept. You're absolutely right. All right. So we can't just rely on one thing. Oh, she was the bomb hairdresser. Great. You can be the bomb hairdresser. Probably not a good teacher. I need all that to come together. I need the gift of teaching, the gift of doing, okay, and the gift of writing all to come together. They need to be able to see it, see their haircut. I need you to explain it. And I need you to show them some stuff, some different stuff on it. Pull out some supportive material, some videos or something. That's how students will learn and retain. And so if we're even in your everyday life, do a case study. If you're in a salon or spa, do a case study. Okay. We'll say, tell your team you're going to teach them something, but incorporate teaching them, speaking to them, a lecture, incorporate something visual, and then actually doing it. Okay. And see how well that turns over for you. And we do that all the time with our family, our children. Here's our 4 steps in learning. It has to be a desire for the students to learn. And you said, Ms. Cox, what do you mean? We've made it all the way here. And that's why we do the motivation, y'all. We got to build them up. We got to build them up before the learning even takes place. We got to build the desire. Some people may be coming just because their parents says they got to do something. That's real. Okay. Some people just come in because the government says they got to do something. That is absolutely real. Some people really do have the passion to do it. All right. You got to build a desire. How do we build a desire? What y'all think? You're like, man, now I got to be the inspirational teacher. I got to be the preacher. You do in the classroom. You got to be the queen motivator. You are the facilitator learner. You're the leader. You lead facilitation. That includes helping build them up. Okay? Because some people say, well, I gotta know this. I just thought I was coming over here to get my license. This was gonna be easy, so I ain't gotta get no job and get on parole. I thought this was gonna be easy. It is easy and it's fun. And you learn at the same time. But we gotta build that desire. So how do you change the desire of that type of student into someone that's like, I'm glad I'm here. Man, let's get it every day. I'm here. I'm learning something new. You gotta build a desire. Number one, you need to know your audience. Number two, the facilitator got to have the desire first. You got to be moved. You got to have the passion. And that's first. So I'm like, I'm loving it that you guys want to be educators. Man, if I'm on my way out, y'all on your way in. I'm rooting for you. It's never a form of competition because you can do some stuff I ain't never thought I could do. You're going to be able to reach people I ain't never been able to reach people. And it is so okay. Remember, we all working for the same thing to get people to the next level, and we have a passion for teaching. So that passion has to be birth or rebirth in the facilitator first. Okay. And then because you love what you do, no matter what you do, I told you guys, I'm working on teaching truck driving. So I'm building a love for truck driving. Didn't know that in the middle of learning truck driving, I was going to become a farmer. So now I kind of pause truck driving and I'm learning, I'm a sponge to all things farming. Okay. Because eventually, and this is what I believe, everything that I do, it's going to work together.
You know you're gonna have to grow your own food soon, huh?
Yeah. Hey. And it's
Right.
all working together. I told my pastor, I told my sister, I said, man, you be on a plan and you be like, God gave me this plan, you be on the plan, and then he's like, shift. You gotta shift with it. I said, I don't know where this came from. I don't know what this door means, but guess what, baby? I'm walking through it. I'm
I
walking
know that's right.
through it. And that's why I said teaching is a gift, and I love it. And God just continues to reinvent it every day, every day. And I can feel my spirit just lifting right now. It's, but he reinvents it every day. I love teaching, and this is what I'm gonna share with y'all. Y'all, it was I think I was telling you, Miss Owens, that it was some money, a grant program that ended like January the 10th, and pretty much those individuals in my Black women in ag, we were helping, people understand paperwork and stuff like that. And so in the recommendation part of a lot of the files, they go, who's Black women in ag? Who's Keisha Cobb? Who's Destiny Cobb? Who? Because they put the people who helped them, gotta put that on there. And it threw them. So why did your girl get invited to a Black farmers conference in Charlotte, like a national conference that's sponsored by the USDA to bring in more Black farmers? And
Look at her.
that what I was like, Lord, what you talking about? And it is a strictly like it's the farmers that are not in the ground, but we're the ones in the suits. So I want to be there and learn the legislator. I want to learn all the ins and outs. And actually, what I'll be doing is teaching the first step, like beginner farmers, those people that have the the passion to be a farmer. I'll be teaching the how to. So what do you have to do first? Pull your paperwork. We got to get your farm number. Once you get the farm number, then you can do this. And then you go from my department and you go over to the next department. And I was like, man, I'm finna be a sponge. I don't know what this is, but I'm finna be a sponge. I'm super excited about it. But and sometimes you just need something to take you off of what you do every day, just to kind of jumpstart your mind going in different directions. So as far as good different directions, because I'm a creative person. But I was like, what? So there's a passion brewing. And one person stopped by my life and got me introduced to it. And guess what? They gone. And I said they had a purpose. They needed to drop something and they needed to scoot on down the road. And I said, man, I'm never gonna forget how that seed was dropped and how it is starting to grow. So I'm mentally just having a ball and celebrating and excited about what's coming next, what's coming next. I'm like, all my teachers gonna be farmers. Everybody I know in beauty gonna be farmers now. Because we eventually gotta do all our food because what was there a recall on? Something else all over Walmart. My brother-in-law said we can't what brother-in-law said we can't buy anything. We can't buy anything great value.
Oh Lord.
Walmart has had so many recalls on their brand of foods, from broccoli to the chicken to everything. So if you on an FDA and USDA websites, you'll learn that. And there's a shortage of purple hull peas, and they're paying farmers a lot of money to grow purple hull peas because they have anticipated in the future there's going to be a lack of peas. So yeah, we operate it. We on those type of endeavors.
Not purple hull. That's one of my favorite. Oh, that's so good.
Ain't that good? I've been on purple hull peas for 2 Sundays in a row. I'm gonna have to get off of it now,
Girl, I used to help my grandma shuck purple.
but yeah, it's definitely one of them. So I'm excited about that. But that's the passion. So I personally feel like I can teach anything. I'm just not stuck on one thing. But once you have the desire and there's a passion there, you can do anything. So we gotta one have the passion in ourselves, and then number two, we gotta build that up in our students. Some people say, how do we do that for Gen Z, a 19-year-old that's social media driven, 10 hours a day on social media? They watch tons of videos. That's the stats. How do we do that? We know that they're money motivated. It's not so much when I grow up, it's right now. I
Mm-hmm.
got an 18-year-old that cleared her $85,000 in her first year learning lashes, and she was a senior in high school. How do you take? So now we got other problems. I know when Ms. Malone was coming in, we didn't have our students making more than us. We didn't have our students making $100,000 in high school. We didn't do that. It was not heard of, but now it is. So as an educator, you got to prepare. You got to elevate up. Okay, this person know about money. This person know about banks. So you can't have just a mediocre environment of, oh, they not ready yet. Oh, they ready. They more than ready. So this is what I say. I'm always to build desire and passion. What I do is I drop gems, money gems, business gems. And we did that. Miss Chapman was on last night. Um, and that was one of my things of dropping that. It builds the conversation. A lot of the students that come to us, they're already working illegally, period. They're already working without a license. Okay. And so when they come, we have to kind of shift them around for a season. And it's hard when you've been your own boss to kind of just submit. But we accept the challenge and we do it. And I always say, hey, I gotta get you to the finish line. I gotta get you crossed over. I gotta get you on the other side of this thing. And how do we do that? Pass after pass after pass. So I'm gonna enrich you in what you know. I'm gonna help you get over there. But also at the same time, you need to put that money in the bank. You need to be properly structured. You need to be in position. Okay. You need to be able to do this. And if I don't know, I'm gonna bring somebody else in that knows it. And that's what I like to do, because sometimes they get tired of hearing one voice. So if I can bring somebody else in that's their expertise, hey, together we all win. And that's what I like to do. But that's just on building a desire component. Thank you, Cosmo. Just hang out with us for a minute. And then it's input and environment. I'm gonna put it in you, okay? And based on the environment, okay, they need to receive the information. Here's the thing: it's not that sometimes the students don't want to learn. Sometimes their environment of study makes it impossible for them to learn. So yes, if we have to come in a little early that they can have some me time, yes. If we have to stay over just a little late so they can have some me time, yes. It's happened where students say, can I just stay over a little bit? And I've even had a student say, can I just go in the hallway? Can I just go in the hallway? I need to process this information. Can I go in the hallway? I don't have a problem with that. I'm not a dictator. I'm a leader. Okay. We want to be leaders in the classroom. We don't, and contrary to what popular people say, I wish I would have never taught my niece how to say I'm a boss. Okay. Because she's 6 years old and she go around saying, I'm the boss. I said, but no, you're the leader. I'm trying to correct my wrong. But I never want to be perceived as the boss. I don't want to tell people what to do. I don't want a dictatorship or rule over adults. All right. I want to give the adults the opportunity to make their own decisions. And then whatever the consequences may be, that's what they are. But I want them to feel like we're in this together. I don't have to have a wall built. Everybody needs to know I'm the boss. No, I'm the leader. So not only do I want to lead you and support you, I want to push you to do better. All my students should be doing better than me. And we are not in competition with any of them. And so I've had individuals I've had to kind of bring all the way together and say, well, this school may not be best for you because we prioritize learning. We prioritize learning. And at the end of the day, it's all about what that student, we need to leave empty so that student can be filled up at the end of the day. Okay. When I talk about environment as well, it's good to understand sometimes some things about them and how well they learn, what environment are they learning in, especially if you have students that may be on the spectrum. Taking some time, taking classes, learning about that. We're going to talk about dyslexia, ADHD, things of that nature. Students that in high school had certain restrictions. Those restrictions don't go away. Those concerns don't go away. And so now in trade school, I found myself talking to my lady, talking to the state about additional training for educators in that, because we have a lot of educators that deal with individuals that come from high school that had certain plans, and those plans seem to just evaporate. But they shouldn't evaporate, they should be carried over. And the educators have to be skilled enough to understand that. They should be carried over. And so it's just a system that we also let State Board know. We let the testing site, PSI, know, so this person can have a successful future. All right. So those plans, those considerations of study issues, learning disabilities, whatever, they don't go away once they graduate high school. They become barriers if we don't acknowledge them and help our students in that. So you got to understand the environment, and even with how they receive the information, you may say, man, this job, it may be a discovery of a new type of teacher in your school. And it may be an increase on pay because you're doing more. You have to do more. You're making sure, but it's pushing you, and it's going to make you a better educator in the long run. And we can't say who comes in the classroom to learn. We just have to be prepared to teach them. Okay. Assimilation. This is where they start to process the information. So in the input, Make sure you're giving them the correct information, because what you would hate for them to learn the wrong way. That's the assimilation. You would hate for them to learn the wrong way. And then when it gets to testing, they're totally disappointed. They've lost all trust in whatever you can do. And then repeat. Okay. And so that looks like our 4 basic steps of learning. Let's look at multiple intelligence. I want to see if Miss Candace on.
Yes, ma'am, I'm on. Good morning.
Welcome. Welcome. We got all the DCI educators on this morning. It's amazing. It's amazing. Miss Candace, I got like 3 more slides, and we'll be right with you, okay?
Yes, ma'am, that's fine.
Awesome. Let's go over to the chat. Yes. Oh, y'all been chatting it up in a group. Yeah. Yes, Miss use social media. And I'm so glad you said use social media, because I'm not scared of it. We embrace it. We embrace it. I love it. So let's look at multiple intelligence. And this is Howard Gardner's theory about multiple intelligence. It speaks to the issue of how smart we are, or how we are smart. And so it really just kind of, when people say, well, I'm smart, or when you tell a person, oh, she's so smart. Actually, with that analogy, she's only, or he is only as smart as their intelligence. All right. But you don't want to, traumatize a kid by saying, you're smart over here, but not so much over there. And everybody has a level of smart based on their intelligence. So we just have to be mindful. We give compliments to some students, but some students, if we feel like they don't, and this is if they don't receive and they're not learning on some of the other students' level, it's not that they're not learning on that level. Those students have different intelligence, and then you have to tap into how that student learns. That's not really being vocal, that you're not giving a compliment of being smart to, because that student has a level of intelligence in the way that they learn. And so everybody should get some form. If you're giving one a compliment, I do believe that everybody should get some form of compliment, not no shade or whatever, but finding something that student does amazing, don't have to be the same compliment, and compliment them on. They can be smart in those areas. All right. So multiple intelligence, how we are smart versus how smart we are. Intelligence not fixed. It's not unit. You can't pass this out. All right. Um, Here's the prerequisites of intelligence: skills to resolve problems. Can we become solutionists? Last night we talked about, and Miss Candace and I was on with the aesthetic students. We talked about a solution. Y'all, I am seeing, and Miss Chapman was on too, and this is just, we'll have the conversation. We don't have time for it today, but if we don't teach our students proper resolution solving, um, conflict resolutions, if we don't teach them how to do business, good business, we're going to have a problem with the next generation of beauty professionals coming out. Okay. Because I have seen, we don't teach them about customer service. We don't teach them how to build their books, how to put policies in place so certain things don't happen. I have literally, across 3 races in 2 days, 3 races of people, different ages, try to run out on services. Not me. I've seen this on social media. All right. And I've seen it from nails, from hair. I've seen it from somebody from wigs. I mean, what's the problem? That tells me, yeah, it's definitely a money issue, or it's a lack of respect issue. It's something going on, but always business could be done a little better. Since that happened, how do we go back and revisit things? So we have to teach our students resolution. We have to introduce those possibilities to them, or they're going to get out and not know how to shake and move. Okay, so we got to give them skills to resolve the problem. So for me, I'm a solution. If I hear the problem, okay, here we go. I'm not one to keep nagging. I'm not going to join you on nagging about the problem. How do we fix it? The ability to create a product, okay? The ability to create a product, the potential for finding or creating a problem, all right? All of that are going to be prerequisites to a person's intelligence, all right? Based on an example, okay? Based on so many different things. And you can just listen to friends, colleagues, and things like that and find what level of intelligence they are when it comes to problem solving. Okay. Either they're what they're doing, they're creating it, or they're over on the other side of it. Here are in 8 intelligence identified, which picks us up from last week: verbal, bodily, kinesthetic. And I'm gonna tell you one thing about it, kinesthetic. This student is learning; they are listening to you, but they gotta have something in their hand. So yes, they may pull out their cell phone, but if you have an interesting class, they don't have to pull out their cell phone. All right. So if they do naturally pull out their cell phone and their Gen Z, which means they be 18, 20 years old, and they pull out their cell phone and they do that a lot, but they're still listening to you. Okay. What you can do is have their assignments or a small class assignments to be done through the phone. So you cannot just be randomly just doing something on your phone. You got to be working or use it as a group. All right. So this person got to have something in their hands. Okay. Logical, mathematical steps to something. This is how they'll learn. And you can naturally show somebody how to do it, but go ahead and write it, put it in some steps. That other person that needs this breakdown is going to be able to understand it. Of course, you have your visual. They want to see you do a demo, put the video in. They want you to send them a YouTube link. Then you have the musical, the rhythmic, someone who loves a beat, a chant, instrumental. They love music. It keeps them moving. Okay. Interpersonal, intrapersonal. Those that love being in a group and those that said, look, I don't like groups, just give me my work. I will do it myself. And then you have your naturalists. All right. These individuals, they love sunlight, they love being outside, they're affected by the seasons, the weather. They love sitting up on a tree. They love to do something called grounding, taking their shoes off and just digging their feet into the ground. They love to be one with nature. You can have all of these in your classrooms. Okay. Um, this chapter 4 lesson, if you guys don't have it, please go ahead and jump in and look at it. I'm gonna say verbal. We went over a lot of these last week. That's verbal. Some teaching ideas for students that are verbal, graphics and posters, slogans, readings, even scriptures, affirmations, metaphors. Um, well, I used to do something that taught my students about professionally speaking, and it was whether the weather is cold, whether the weather is hot, we'll be together wherever the weather, whether you like it or not. And a lot of choirs and singers use that to stretch their W words, stretch their mouths, their exercises. But it gave me a way to teach my students, and I was traveling platform artist to teach my team how to speak clearly, no mumble talk, and how to express our words and things like that. So a verbal person that loves words is going to love metaphors like that, or rhymes, rhythms. And it was whether the weather is cold, whether the weather is hot, we'll be together, whatever the weather, whether you like it or not. And I will have them do it sad, mean, funny, with a smile, angry. And it really helped in anatomy and physiology because we were using the different muscles in the face. But when we talked about retail and our students, you got students that come to you that have never spoken before in front of a big audience, and we're asking them to go out and build $1 billion business. You got some that are super shy. They don't know how they're going to build clientele. And so we practice while we're there. You know, it can be unconventional at times, but I feel like they're my children. I got to prepare them for the real world. And so that's just one thing I use. And my verbal students is going to eat it all up. Okay. Study tips for verbal students. They're going to write notes and they're going to be good at groups. Visual students. We talk about famous people. They love celebrities. Okay. Let's talk about the different career choices. Some of those teaching ideas, mind mapping, draw it out, put them on the board. Okay. Places like Fiverr, Canva, assignments where they got to build something is going to be amazing for them. Okay. Icebreakers, they're going to love it. Hands on making posters and things like that in class, they're going to love it. Okay. And then study tips, color coding, different color. And I would keep different color highlighters and markers and things like that because I would want these students to definitely be able to do something different than just yellow. Mind mapping with diagrams, graphics, okay? Having a color wall in the classrooms. There we go, having pictures, my logical, how they learn best. Also, we're going to use famous people. And we have to consider the why. Be prepared for these individuals because you got to make sense to them. So you're teaching something. You got to be able to answer the question. So that's why we got to know our stuff more than you got to know more than them. You got to stay ahead of the game. All right, intrapersonal, career choices, okay, how they learn best, workbook assignments, give them something that they can just do on their own, okay, alternatives to let students choose, give them the assignment, they're going to work. Don't just say, oh, whatever you want to do, that's not going to work for them. They're going to feel like no teaching has gone on. So study tips is going to consider the cause and effect. And so you may ask them to always compare the what if, okay, the left side to the right side, and let them find their way in between. Bodily kinesthetic, of course, they have to touch. You can do role playing, skits, things of that nature, um, charades, all kind of stuff. Putting a line dance together, and line dances are very popular. And so I would say now that would be a good thing to do as an icebreaker in the classrooms is to get the students up, get them moving in the morning or even after lunch because they're getting all that blood flow going. They're going to be ready for the next lesson. Okay. So study tips, pacing and reciting, peer coaching, putting them together with someone else. Some my students love case studies. All right. So if it's something they want to learn, we're gonna make a case study out of it. We're gonna learn the why. Okay, the when, things of that nature. All right. And then we have our study tips. Peer coaching, flashcards, things of that nature, partner study. We're gonna close out. We got musical. We got two more we're gonna do. We look at musical, some teaching ideas, writing, performing jingles, putting your lesson into a song. Of course, musical icebreakers, working as a group, developing a cheer team. Here you come again with you create a playlist for the classroom, and naturalistics. Those individuals they love outside aromatherapy, so sound, smell, sunlight, things like that. Observing and recording changes, so photo synthesis, so many different things, observing and recording observations. So outside, this person would be great with the before pics and after pics and things of that nature. Let's look at the study tips. Studying outdoors, exploring natural aspects of the content, taking nature walks, and during study time, and even reviewing outside. And then nature sounds are always amazing. So we can play that coming back in from lunch. Okay. And then we'll pick back up. So we're gonna leave off. Oh wow. On 39. So 39 through, well, no, let me finish. Miss Candice, I'm sorry, 2 more minutes. Okay, so the benefits of neural learning styles with students, better choices, better selection of work environment. So we help our students identify how they learn. And then educators, better lessons that appeal to all styles, better focus on student weaknesses. Okay, so we can understand where the gaps are. How to identify the preferred intelligence. We can take this and give students like surveys. All right. Then developing those intelligence. So pretty much the intelligence starts really, really early. And I think they had already started above 3. So at 3, we start to see, oh, they're becoming their own little person. And then they're developing these little different traits up until age 70, okay, or even more. So a person is always in a learning stage from 3 to 70. So when we interact with even our parents and grandparents, everybody is still developing their intelligence the older that they get. Okay. And so it's just a part of life. And it's really no age limit on these particular intelligence. Working together, working alone, or logical, having logical or mathematical understanding. There's no age limit on that. Okay. There's no age limit on it. And we're going to pick up, we look here, combining intelligence. And I think after this one, we move to 6, but I'll let you know, Ms. Chapman and Ms. Owens, where we're going with that. One intelligence is 5 to 75%, addressing all intelligence 100%, but every educator, every class needs to do 3 to 4 intelligence. So if you can come in at the 50% range, we've done amazing. Every week, we need to at least touch all of them, but in one class, we need to have at least 50%. All right. That's our wrap up. I'm going over to our chat and we're getting ready to close out. Yes. Incentives, incentives, incentives. And so what I want to do, Miss Candice, do you need me to pull up your chapter 4 on SEMA and just let it run? Oh no, well, I won't be on the other side. But however you want to run the class, that's fine. But this is live streamed on YouTube for the instructors. Um, I can keep it rolling if you want me to roll it back, roll it into you. Okay.
Mm, it don't matter, Miss D.
Okay.
Cause I be coming out of both my book and SEMA.
Okay. Awesome. 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 I am going to log off. Thank you guys for coming on, Miss Malone. We'll chit chat later. Thank you for coming on, Miss Chapman. I will you're just looking more into chapter 4. We'll see each other again. What's today? Tuesday? We will see each other again on Thursday. Okay. And we will close up the review. So, what I need to do, if I haven't seen you the study guide for chapter 4, it may have been 1 through 4. I'm going to see you one just for 4. Okay. And so we'll do a study guide and a quick study on that before we move to our next chapter on Thursday. Y'all have a
It's been 1 through 4. The
yeah,
study.
the instructors got 1 through 4 too.
Okay.
On a different thing. So yeah, we need to close that up. Y'all have an amazing day. Oh, I'm gonna create the test for 1 through 4 for Cosmo Anesthetics for your class. And it's the same as the study guide, it's just gonna be switched as the test. So they get to take it up to 2 times and whatever the best grade that is we'll keep the best grade, okay? It's a digital test, so they just open a link, take it, hit submit, and the grade will come to them and to us. Okay.
Okay.
And so if I build that today, just have it done by tell your students to have it done by 11:59 Sunday night. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Y'all have a blessed and amazing day. Educators, we out. Bye bye.
Goodbye.
Okay. Let me see. How do I get out here?
All right. Good morning, Quita. If you don't mind putting your name in the chat for me,
for roll call, and then you can pull up your SEMA. We are on chapter 4, and we'll go from there. Hope you having a good day today. Hope you done had a good weekend.
I did. How was yours?
It was good. I can't complain.
Okay.
So just let me know when you're in your SEMA.
I'm in here.
Okay, and we're on chapter 4.
Hmm.
So chapter 4 is talking about the healthy professional, which is a good thing because we have to be healthy in order to, be able to perform any duties. And um, I always say, I always say this, but I love that they have a quote, and this one is from Steve Jobs, and he says, "Stay hungry, stay foolish." So in this chapter, there are 8 learning objectives. And so once we complete this chapter, you will be able to, one, explain the healthy professional, two, discuss nutrition needs and a beauty content, three, practice proper hydration, four, describe how immunity keeps the body safe, five, explain when to take a sick day, six, identify common beauty professional health issues. Seven, protect yourself with proper body mechanics. Um, and eight, recognize the challenges posed by pregnancy. So I'm gonna probably do half of them today, so that we can have the other half for Thursday. Um, Give me 1 second. Okay, I'm sorry about that. My apologies. I'm back. So we start with explain a healthy professional. For your own benefit, as well as for the benefit of your clients and the longevity of your career. You should have a basic understanding of how to maintain your health and well being on the job. Making the right nutritional choices and drinking plenty of water is a good place to start. You've heard people say, you are what you eat. So strive to be well balanced, vitamin rich, and hydrated. On the flip side, skin disorders, fatigue, stress, depression, poor focus, and some diseases can be caused by an unhealthy diet or improper hydration. Beyond eating and drinking properly, healthy professionals are also aware of their body movements at work, moving safely and efficiently to avoid putting unneeded stress on their body in what are physically demanding service jobs. You've got a long career ahead of you, and understanding of ergonomics will help you make it through a little less painful. So I like this passage because it just tells us that um it's telling us how to maintain and have a fit body for this career. And being hydrated is like number one. Drinking plenty of water, as well as it said, having the right type of diet. And I like where it tells us that, on the flip side, that disorders can come from, like these signs of disorders can be fatigue and stress and, poor focus and, diseases. And these just let us know that something is wrong. Something is off with our diet or our hydration. So I did like that passage. It also states that beauty professionals should study and have a thorough understanding of the healthy professional because one, maintaining a strong, healthy body directly impacts the health of your practice, and your practice itself is related to nutrition and wellness in many ways. Then it also goes to say understanding proper nutrition for the body to maintain optimum energy level throughout the day is beneficial for all practitioners and their clients. Also, knowing when to take a sick day when you feel ill is an important responsibility regarding your coworkers and clients. Avoiding work-related injuries through care and ergonomics leads to longer career with less overall pain. You should be aware of the unique challenges presented by pregnancies in the salon, spa, and barbershop to ensure you or your client's safety. Those are some good points. Um, Especially when you know you're sick, take that time to get yourself well. People will understand, some will and some won't, but it's about you. And if, like I just said, if you're not healthy or you're not no good, how can you be good for anybody else? So we have to consider ourselves first, even though we're trying to um build a career and build clientele. But we first must make sure we're 100%. Discuss nutritional needs in a beauty content. All bodily functions, including the building of tissue, are directly related to nutrition. The processes involved in taking in nutrients and assimilating and utilizing them. The foods we eat and the water we drink are the basic building blocks of life. Foods are broken down into basic molecules that are then delivered to every cell in the human body. These molecules are used by the cells to repair damage, form new cells, and conduct all biochemical reactions that run the body system. They provide energy that enables our body to perform numerous functions. The skin is nourished by the blood through the arteries and capillaries in the circulatory system. Think of the body as a factory. All of the necessary systems, departments, units, and components for the factory to function optimally are contained within the foods we consume. As we know, beauty professionals are not licensed dietitians, nor are we adequately trained in nutrition to legally recommend dietary changes to our clients. Clients may be taking medications for health conditions such as diabetes or high blood pressure that can be negatively affected by misleading advice, including supplement recommendation. However, it is beneficial for anyone practicing personal care services such as aesthetics. To have a good working knowledge of nutrition and how the body is affected by the foods we consume. Good nutrition is necessary for healthy skin, hair, and nails, which is true because if something is going on in your body, it'll start showing on your skin, it'll start showing in your hair, and it'll start showing on in your nails. Your hair can become brittle, your nails can get those white spots and stuff in them, or even become dark. Um, and your skin will start breaking out and stuff like that. So we have to be mindful of what we what we put in our body, but we also have to pay attention to our bodies as well. Because like I said, I look at your body as a factory. When the factory is ran right and it's functioned properly, everything goes smoothly. And it's just the way your body is set up. If everything is functioning right, then you'll have the functions are working properly. So that was good. Essential nutritions. Um, there are 6 classes of nutrition that the body needs. One, carbohydrates, needed for energy to run every function within the body. Two, vitamins, required for many body functions to occur, including normal metabolism. Three, fats, um, needed for many body functions, including hormones, sebum production, and absorption of fat soluble vitamins like A, D, E, and K. Minerals, used by cells to produce important biochemicals that have many body functions. 5, proteins, important for building muscle and blood tissues and for cell repair and replacement. 6, water, necessary for virtually every function of the cell and body, makes up 50 to 70% of the body's weight. These essential nutrients are obtained through eating and drinking. The body cannot make nutrients in sufficient amount to sustain itself properly. So it asks us, did you know if you want more information about nutrition, visit the USDA's special website at http semicolon slash slash www dot choosemyplate.gov. There are many information sources on this easy to use page that offer daily nutrition advice, healthy, um, healthy receipts and meal planning, and weight loss information. So that might be a good website to look up when just to go and see, just check it out, just to see what they're talking about and what um what type of nutrition that they're talking about as far as the meal planning and weight loss information. The United States of Agriculture, USDA, developed a program called My Plate to help people determine the amount of food they need to eat from the 5 basic food groups. The food groups are grains, dairy, vegetables, protein foods such as meat, poultry, seafood, beans, and eggs. And fruit. Eating the recommended amount of fruit foods from the five basic groups is the best way to support and maintain the health of body, skin, and nails. See the recommended daily food amount in Figure 4.1. So 4.1 is showing us that the five food groups and their appropriate portions. So it's showing us how much fruit we probably need, and it's showing us how many vegetables we need. It's showing us the meat, and it's showing us the grains. So I think that the meat is not a very big portion. The fruit looks like it's a little more bigger than the meat, as well as the vegetables and the grains. Um they kind of almost look alike, but the grains almost look a little bit bigger than the vegetables. So that is a good chart. And like they said, go up under the little website just to see what you should have maybe on a daily. In addition to creating the recommendations included in the My Plate program, the USDA and the United States Department of Health and Human Services have established dietary guidelines to assist people with achieving a balanced diet. Eat a variety of food. Select a diet that's high in fresh fruit, vegetables, and grain products, and low in fat, saturated fats, and cholesterol. Consume moderate amount of salt and sugar, including the sodium and modified sugars that are in prepared food products. Drink an appropriate amount of water. Keep consumption of alcoholic beverages to a minimum. Balance your diet with the right amount of physical activity. Maintain or improve your weight. For much more information on necessary vitamins and minerals in the diet, visit the National Institution of Health, the NIH at https //medlineplus.gov and search for vitamins. So I'm gonna probably look it up under that myself for the vitamins, because I think the older we get, the more we should put more vitamins in us. Due to the older we get, we stuff starts to um go away, and so we need to always keep up with um try to keep our bodies intact, especially if the vitamins is good vitamins and are going to help certain areas that we may need. It asks us to do an activity, but we'll skip over the activity. But we'll start up now with vitamins and dietary supplements. Vitamins play an important role in the body's health, aiding in healing, fighting diseases, and maintaining the skin, hair, and nails. If you see that it's constantly stating about the skin, the hair, and the nails. There are 13 of essential vitamins: A, C, K, D. I'm sorry, A, C, D, E, K, and 8B complex vitamins. Vitamins A, D, E, and K are fat soluble vitamins found in fats and foods and can be stored in the body. Vitamin C and B complex are water solubles, um, meaning the body uses and loses them quickly. So they must be replenished regularly. So A, D, E, and K are fat soluble vitamins found in fats and foods, and can be restored in the body, can be stored in the body. Where vitamin C and B are water, which quickly dissolves and you can replenish on a regular. Vitamins such as A, C, D, and E have been shown to have positive effects on the skin health, on the skin's health when taken by mouth. If a person's daily food consumption is lacking in nutrition, vitamins and mineral supplements can help provide some of the nutritions um, needed. Be sure to read the recommended daily allowance RDA for each vitamin and mineral supplements. These recommendations are listed on all supplement labels. If you have any questions or concern about the supplements, especially the level of any nutrition is over 100% of the RDA, contact the manufacturer either by phone or through a website. Remember that vitamins are nutritional supplements, not cosmetic ingredients. In fact, the law prohibits manufacturers from claiming that any beauty product or cosmetic has nutritional value. The following vitamins are particularly significant effects. I don't know why I'm getting so tongue tied today. The following vitamins have um, particularly significant effects on the skin. Vitamin A supports the overall health of the skin and aids in the health, function, and repair of skin cells. It has been shown to improve the skin's elasticity and thickness. That's vitamin A. Let me slow it down. That's probably why I'm tripping over my words. Vitamin C is an important substance needed for the proper repair of the skin and tissues. This vitamin aids in and accelerates the skin healing process as well as boosting the immune system. Vitamin C also is vitally important in fighting the aging process and promotes the production of collagen in the skin's dermal tissues, keeping the skin healthy and firm. Vitamin D enables the body to properly absorb and use calcium, the element needed for proper bone development and maintenance. Vitamin D also promotes rapid healing of the skin. Vitamin E helps protect the skin from the harmful effects of the sun, UV light. Some people claim that vitamin E helps to heal damage to the skin tissue when taken by mouth. So we have vitamin A, which supports the overall health of the skin. We have vitamin C. It helps it's an important substance that um repairs the skin and tissue. It also is vital for the aging process. Vitamin D enables that the body is properly absorbing and using calcium. And vitamin E, it helps keep harmful effects from the sun's UV lights. So let's try to remember those vitamins and what they do, what they produce, and how they work. Because the nutrition the body needs for proper functioning and survival must come primarily for what we eat and drink, from what we eat and drink. I'm sorry. You should not depend on the supplements to make up for poor nutrition. If your daily food consumption is lacking in nutrition, you should strive to improve your diet rather than rely on vitamins and mineral supplements to provide nourishment. Clients may occasionally ask you about nutrition in their skin. You can refer them to some of the informational websites listed within this chapter. If clients ask you detailed questions about nutrition, you should tell them to seek the advice of a physician or a registered dietitian or nutritionalist. Practice proper hydration. There is one essential um nutrient no person can live without, and that is water. Drinking pure water is indispensable to keeping the body healthy. It sustains cell health, aids in elimination of toxin and waste, helps regulate body temperature, and aids in proper digestion. When all of these function properly, they help the skin, hair, and nails stay healthy, vital, and attractive. Again, there go this skin, hair, and health. Skin, hair, and nails. Water facts. An estimated 75% of Americans are chronically dehydrated. Research suggests that the benefits of water on human health and functioning are many. Even mild dehydration will slow metabolism by as much as 3%. Drinking water, lots of water can help stop hunger pains for many dieters. Lack of water is the number one cause of daytime fatigue. A 2% drop in body water can trigger fuzzy, short term memory, trouble with basic math, and difficulty in focusing on a computer screen or printed page. I must be being dehydrated right now. Here's a tip: keep a large bottle of water on hand daily to keep the body hydrated. Offer clients water during their service. Quit, I have one question. How much water do you drink? Do you drink, um, I think, what is it, eight glasses or some, or is it 8 ounces?
I drink a lot of water. I prefer water over like sodas and stuff. And but I don't know how many ounces I drink a day. That's a good question. I just drink like hell, like maybe 5 or 6 bottles of water a day.
Yeah. So I
But I
think it's like 8 ounces, if I'm not mistaken.
but see,
I
I'm looking at this one because I just drunk one. This one right here beside me is like 16.9 fluid ounces. So is that I guess that's what they talking about? I don't know. But yeah, that's what it says on here is 16.9 fluid ounces.
Yep, it's 8 ounces, and the next section talks about that. And I just was looking at the water bottle that I had right in front of me, and it says eight fluid ounces. So 8, 16, that's like two. That's 2 cups
Hmm.
right there. So it tells us water intake requirements. The amount of water needed by an individual varies depending on body weight and level of daily physical activity. The human body requires approximately 2 liters of fluid a day just to replace the fluid lost from simply existing, walking, standing, breathing. That's 8 ounce glasses of water per day at a bare minimum. So it said 8 ounces. Drinking 9 to 12 glasses, 2 to 3 liters of water a day is an average recommendation. So like you got 16 ounces, like we said, that's two ounces, which is like 2 cups. So you gotta go six more. You gotta do six more in order to meet the bare minimum of the water intake. You got that?
Yeah, I got it. That's Man, we're gonna be going to the restroom like crazy, but okay.
Right.
Dude,
You really have to go to the restroom, but
man.
that's what it's telling us. That is the bare minimum. 8 ounce glasses. So, well, if you're doing the 16, um, and that's two, so you will have to do three more because you're doing 16, and then you gotta do that's 2 cups, right? Two 8 ounces. So then you
Uh-huh.
gotta do another 16, that's two 8 ounces, another 16, that's two 8 ounces, and another 16, that's 2 ounces. 2, 4, 6, 8. That equals 8. So you got three more to go.
Yeah. Okay.
Like you said, that's a lot of water we gotta drink.
Uh-huh.
But hey, that's what our body needs. That's
Yeah.
what it's telling us our body needs. That's telling us that's just the bare minimum. And it tells us drinking 9 to 12 glasses. At a 2 to 3 liter of water a day is the average recommendation. So hey, hey, you drinking two of them in one time. So you on the road to it. Um, Here is an easy formula to help you determine how much water is needed every day for maximum physical health. Take your body weight and divide by 2. Then, then divide this number by 8. The resulting number approximates how many 8 ounce glasses of water you should drink every day. For instance, if you weigh 160 pounds, you should drink 10 glasses of water a day. If you engage in intense physical activities each day, add 2 extra glasses of water to the final number. This will help replace extra fluid lost while exercising. Drinking excessive amounts of water is not recommended. So increase the amount further only if you are thirsty or dehydrated. As with all healthy habits, moderation is usually the best choice for nutritional balance. So I want to do that. Take your weight, divide it by 2, then divide it by 8. And let's see what we come up with um how many glasses of water we should drink. So let's take about 5 minutes and see if we can come up with you come up with yours and I'm gonna come up with mine. You got yours?
These people cannot be for real right now. Ain't no way. Hold
So how
on.
many tell you?
14. Ain't no way.
Mine
Let me do
told
that
me
again.
9. Mine said 9 because I'm
Oh,
144. And so I divided that by 2. And then it said take that number and
it said
divide it.
14.
Huh?
Yeah, it gave me 14. I did it again. Golly. Okay.
That's a lot of water you gotta drink.
Man.
It's a lot of glasses of water. But I think I
Man.
could probably need to drink about 11 since it said add 2 more to it if you what it say?
Like if you exercise or whatever, if you're in intense physical activity, add 2 extra glasses of water to the final number.
Yep. But even though
And
I
that'll
don't do the intense physical activity, I just feel like me standing on my legs with at the shop and um,
hmm
just ribbon and running with kids and stuff like that. I think that's kind of like intense to me, cause like in the morning time I'm having to take them to school, then I'm having to pick them up, then I'm having to cook and all that in the evening. So
Hmm.
it's like add more water, but I'm gonna have to try to get on that 9. I drink plenty of water, but I don't think I might drink um
Exactly.
9 glasses. But it tells us don't overdo it as well, because like they said, if um it can stop the hunger pains for a dieter, and water will get you full. It'll have you full, have you
Hmm.
all bloated and everything, until you, like you said, going to the restrooms and kind of get it all off of your stomach. So, but hey, that's what it's telling us. So we come to a check-in. And don't forget that in each chapter do your check-ins. Um so it say, how many glasses of water should you drink every day?
8 to 12.
Yep, 8 ounces. 8 to 12. What is it?
Right here, water intake requirements. That first paragraph is that last sentence. Drinking 9 to 12 glasses, 8 to 2 liters of water a day is an average recommendation.
Yep, the last that on the top of it, the last one, I see that. And I'm gonna go back because I missed a check-in. And there was when it came to the vitamin and dietary supplements, it said, what are the 6 classes of um, um nutrients that the body needs?
I'm trying to find the question. I'm sorry.
You fine.
Is what you said the 6 classes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Carbohydrates, vitamins, fats, minerals, proteins, and water.
Yes, correct. I had to go when I seen that I skipped that one. Well, I missed it. I had want to go back just to make sure we catch that one. So eight 8 to 12 glasses is good. So we got that. So it talks about describe how immunity keeps the body safe. Given all of the pathogens we encounter every day, it seems amazing that most of us are generally healthy. We owe that to our immune system. Immunity refers to the ability of the body to resist and destroy pathogens and respond to infection. A key element of this is the ability of the immune system to identify potential threats and protect the body, often without us knowing we are at risk. Immunity against disease is a sign of good health and can be either natural or acquired. Natural immunity is partly inherited and partly developed through healthy living. Acquired immunity is developed after overcoming a disease through inoculation, such as flu vaccinations, or through exposure to natural allergens such as pollen, cat dander, and ragweed. I say that most times our body get immune to certain things, and that will give us a fight mechanisms in our body. And I know once when we was younger, we grew up, we had to get all those shots and stuff like that. Because I be seeing nowadays, I be like, how come I don't see kids with chicken pox and stuff? When we grow up, we had chicken pox and measles, mumps, and I know we had to get the MMR, measles, mumps, and rubella. But I'm like, we still caught chicken pox. I caught chicken pox from my cousin. I'm like, so that don't exist anymore. Like the to me, that's like, because the vaccines they put that foreign in us to fight it off, I guess. So I guess that's why kids don't come up with chicken pox no more. Um, but I think that's like a acquired immunity. What you think?
And I agree. Like we got the to me, this is how I feel about it. Like we'll get the vaccine for stuff. Some of it prevents us from getting it. Other times it stops it from being as bad.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say you get the COVID vaccine, but you still catch COVID, but it's not as bad as somebody who didn't get the vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of like how I see it. But when someone goes and let's say they go and they don't vaccinate their kids or whatever, I feel like that's slick how certain outbreaks happen, like stuff that we ain't seen in probably years or decades. It's because somebody walking around and they not vaccinated and they body then, God, I don't know, created something that we
That's
ain't seen in
foreign.
forever. Yeah. Like,
Mm-hmm.
where in the world y'all come up with this? We ain't heard that stuff since the 60s or 70s. Like, we learned about that mess in history. Why y'all getting that now? Because people not
Mm-hmm.
getting vaccinated.
Mm-hmm. But too, I think like a lot of things have came out due to those vaccinations. Like, um, I was talking to my cousin about that, about like how come you have so many artistic kids now? Like, where did that come from? Because I don't remember seeing or hearing about kids being artistic as much. And I had a friend who said her baby was fine at first. She was like, then one day she took him to get his vaccinations, and after that, he was kind of like different. He wasn't as active and stuff. And like a little later on, they end up telling her that he had a form of autism. And I was like, wow.
Yeah, that's how a lot of it starts. Like the child will be fine, and then out of nowhere they start exhibiting symptoms of being autistic. But to me, I don't know. Like back then, they kind of like hid them kids. They kept them in a house because
Yeah,
a lot of people were slick scared of them. I don't see no need to be scared of a kid or an adult that matter that may have autism. But yeah, that's how a lot of them. The kid will be fine. Like they talking and everything, and then all of a sudden it just like a light switch just turns off, and they
yeah,
start regressing, and they
yeah,
won't even talk anymore. And I'm, ooh, wait,
yeah. And as you say that, like, I think about, like, they would say, oh, they retarded or something like that. And it maybe wasn't retardation, it probably was autism. It just didn't, they didn't have the right word for it back then. So they used them being saying that they have retardation.
yeah, that yeah, I
And
agree with it.
and like when you was saying like about the COVID shot and stuff like that, um, to me, like my friend had it twice and had got vaccinated. And like I've known people who have the flu, get the flu shot, but then get the flu right after. It's like I told them, I said, I think that they put the virus in us first for our bodies to fight it off. So I guess when it come around again, as far as the cold
Yeah,
season
it won't
or
be so
what,
bad.
yeah. So
Yeah.
it already have built up that fight antibiotic in our body.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah. So yeah, that was good. Natural immunity and acquired immunity. That was a good breakdown. So it talks about improve your immune system. Think of your immune system as the military defense of a country. It is constantly aware of potential threats and works behind the scenes to reduce risk and fight against intruders. Much like the military, its success is dependent on having functioning components. For your immune system to work well and protect and heal your body, It must be healthy. For some people, illness or medication may impair their immune systems. However, for most of us, a healthy immune system is the result of lifestyle choices. The most important of these choices, as far as the immune system is concerned, are proper nutrition, choosing foods that provide a variety of nutrients, sleep. Most adults require 8 to 9 hours a night. Not smoking. The use of tobacco products significantly damages all systems of the body, including the immune system. While other factors such as exercising, alcohol use, and stress certainly plays a part in the health of the immune system. Nutrition, sleep, and not smoking are key. I
I
don't
work
think.
with I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
I work at FedEx, and I can think of at least two people there that work two jobs, and they've been working two jobs for like 30 some plus years. And I know one guy, he worked three. I don't know. As a matter of fact, two guys that work three, they may get 2 to 3 hours of sleep in like a 2 or 3 day span. And I'm like, y'all walking around here looking like zombies. How y'all doing it? Like, I don't judge or knock nobody's hustle. You do what you got to do to make your money. But at some point, your body gonna shut down. Like that ain't healthy. Cause when I worked two jobs, man, girl, I'm sorry for calling you girl. I gotta stop
You
that.
good. You good.
But it's like that stuff was rough. I was struggling, like really
Yeah.
for real struggling, and I was running on maybe 3 or 4 hours of sleep a day. If I got 4 hours, that was a good day. And I did that mess for like 2, 3 years. But for somebody to work three jobs for like 30 plus years, how in the world are y'all doing it? And like when you sit down,
You
like
going
when
to
you
sleep.
retire, yeah, it's some stuff gonna hit you that's been sitting there waiting on you to sit your butt down.
Mm-hmm. But I don't think I don't know. Well, I say I might get 8 to 9 hours. It kind of might be broken up. Because like just say if I go to bed, if I take a nap, I might be up, late because I done took that nap. And that's why I say it be kind of broken up. But then it also like when you're a new mom, your sleep broken. But it is almost like walking like a zombie when you're not getting a proper rest. But when we're not
Hmm.
getting a proper rest, our brain don't function as well
At
either because it's
all.
moving slow.
Hmm.
So it's good to try to get 8 hours. And I guess maybe they have to get their 8 hours in broken implements. Like they might get two here, they might get three here, and then they probably even be standing up sleep.
Yeah,
you
like
know?
I've seen them do that. I'm like, y'all, come on. Like when you working in a warehouse setting, like man, you putting us in danger, you putting yourself in
Yeah.
danger. Go sit yourself down and take a nap. Good.
Take a nap. Yeah, they be needing it. They do be needing it. I know like my mom worked at the post office for years and she worked 10 to 7. And when she got off work, it was taking me to school. But when she got through taking me to school, she came in and she slept all the way up until probably time for me to be picked up. And then once I got picked up, she went back to sleep because your body be tired. Like I said, your brain be exhausted sometimes where you can't even think straight. You have to really like actually need to take a good rest. And then on the weekend, you can be able to rest your mind. But if they working 2, 3 jobs, when they off from one job, they at another job. So it's probably kind of hard. But proper sleep is good to have because it helps in our health as well. So that was good. So it talks about be careful with antibiotics. Um, Hold on 1 second. Let me look and see where we at. Okay. We doing good. We on good timing. So it said be careful with antibiotics. We get sick when prevention and immunity fails us. While some illnesses have to run their course, such as those caused by viruses, those caused by bacteria, can generally be treated with antibiotics. Antibiotics are substances that kill or slow the growth of bacteria and other microorganisms. While antibiotics seem commonplace today, they are relatively new, becoming widely prescribed only in the late 1950s. Indeed, the discovery of antibiotics changed healthcare and allowed many to live who may have otherwise died. Unfortunately, today antibiotics are widely overused, leading to the development of new, stronger strains of bacteria that are often resistant to these miracle drugs. For antibiotics that continue to save lives, we must be good stewards of their use today. This means that you should take them only when you have a bacterial illness. Take only those that have been prescribed for you and complete the full course of a treatment. As a beauty professional, remember that some antibiotics can create skin sensitivity and reactions that you may see in your client. If a client's telling you that they are on antibiotics or are experiencing skin sensitivity, it is extremely important to patch test any chemical prior to a service. A patch test, also known as a predisposition test, is a test for identifying a possible um, allergy in a client. Um, too much antibiotics isn't good for you. Like it said, it's for to help um reduce the growth of the bacteria. But if you take too much of it, it can it can cause another problem. Like as for me, every time I take antibiotics, and I know I drink enough water, but sometimes you know the antibiotics had a nasty taste, and you be trying to drink and it had a nasty taste in your throat. And like I catch a yeast infection sometimes because it's like it just like it be too strong or I don't know. And I just be like, I know I'm drinking enough water, but if I take too much of it, I know I might have a adverse effect to it.
It's not
So,
just you. I've heard a lot of women, and myself included, like if we get, let's say you get something like a UTI, and they give you
mm-hmm,
something to clear up the UTI, but then that medicine causes you to have a yeast infection. I'm like,
mm-hmm.
y'all, it gotta be. What else can I do? Because this is crazy. All you're doing is just pumping me up with antibiotics, and one is causing another infection, and
What
I
you
don't want to keep
said,
going in there like that.
what you said, and shoot, I've been there, got them for. I had got it for my tooth being pulled, and next thing I know, I was like, I called the dentist like, hold on, y'all gotta prescribe me a diflucan or something, cause this ain't it. I don't wanna. I'm trying to make sure I don't get no infection in my mouth, and here it is. You making me get an infection down there. So
Right.
like, and what am I not doing? Or is the dosage too high or what? And sometimes it's like they say complete the whole thing, but sometimes you have to stop because you can tell when you finna get
Mm-hmm.
a yeast infection. You can tell like
Mm-hmm.
something just don't feel right. And so, like it said, as far as like with the health, I mean the hair, take a patch test. A patch test is normally a piece of the hair in the back behind the ear, and just see what reaction it gets. Is it going to is it gonna break off? Is it going to can you pull it and it bounce right back? Um Or what else? Is it gonna cause more irritation? So that's pretty much what a patch test does. So we are at a check-in. What can you do to improve your immune system? What can you do?
Get 8 to 9 hours of sleep, get your proper nutrients, and don't smoke.
Right. And it's a lot of people smoke and they like I tell them they be like, well, I've been smoking and this and that, but it's not good for you. And like I have some women who have had, I got a lady who have had, she had her she wondered why her hair was yellow, but it's gray. She's all gray. And I said, you know that smoke stains the hair. Just like
Hmm.
it stains your fingernails. And if it's doing that, just imagine what it's doing to your inside, you know? So we have to be careful about the smoking, even with the secondhand smoke, you know. So
Hmm.
again, that goes back to like what we was talking about in the beginning about the intake on what we put in our body as far as the foods and stuff like that, and just having a healthy well-being, you know. um this says we're talking about the healthy professional, but we want to have healthy people and have long life. So sometimes we have to cut out some of the things that are not healthy for us. We have to look at the things that we're taking in, because I always say this: what you put in will start coming out some kind of way, either like you said, in your hair, your skin, or your nails. So we have to be mindful of that, because like some people you can tell they sick by their eyes. Some people eyes be yellow. Some people eyes look weak. You know, stuff like that. You have to be. We want longevity, so we gotta look at all those things that maybe cause our health and stuff to decline. In the way we do that is proper eating, proper sleep, and watching what we put inside our bodies. Um, we're gonna do one more section, and that is explain when to take a sick day, and then we'll stop right there so we can have something to discuss on Thursday. Um, but again, you could go through the whole chapter and go ahead and do your check-ins and get that out the way. But it says explain when to take a sick day. When you are employed by a salon, spa, or barbershop, you will be made aware of various company policies, including the official sick policy. From time to time, you may find yourself feeling under the weather, forced to balance the expectations of this policy with your busy schedule. In these cases, you will have to make a choice: go to work sick or stay home. Staying home for professional beauty professionals, time is money, and the decision to stay home is a big one both for your clients and your bank account. However, some illnesses are highly contagious and put not only your client but also the health of your salon, spa, and barbershop at risk. If you are running a fever or experiencing vomiting or diarrhea, you should stay home until you have been cleared by a physician or your symptoms have disappeared. Even a simple cold, while not generally dangerous, can be easily spread to your clients and their families as well as your coworker, which hurts the business as a whole. If you decide to go into work, it is important to remember that you are possibly contagious and practice the following. Avoid shaking hands. Nothing spreads illness faster than a simple act intended to be welcoming and polite. Wash hands prior to every client. While this is the rule in most cases, in most states, Very few professionals have the time to actually do this in practice. Even if hand washing can reduce the risk of spreading illness by up to 70%. Sneeze into your elbow. When you know you are going to sneeze, bring the crook of your elbow to your face, forcing respiratory droplets to the ground, avoiding sneezing into your hand. Consider covering up protective equipment like gloves and masks. Is highly effective at reducing the spread of illness causing bacteria. While wearing a mask or glove may seem awkward to you, your client will understand or appreciate the precaution. Include fluids. Give your body the resources it needs to allow your immune system to do its job. Water is always essential. See a doctor if symptoms persist. Everybody gets sick. Your manager, coworkers, and clients all know this and will be ready to help you reschedule appointments and make sure you're covered. In the meantime, just focus on feeling better. But before we go into checking in, I just want to say this right here is important. It is when to stay home and when you need to go. Um, like they said, if you run a fever, you vomiting, you got diarrhea, your nose running, stuff like that, and you coughing all over the place, you know, not look. I don't need to come into work today. That's not the best thing. But sometimes we can have like a cough or whatever, and wear masks. That's a good thing. And I just want to talk about how it said, washing your hands. A lot of the COVID they said was spreaded by people not washing their hands, the contact. And I kept saying, that's crazy how people use the restroom and just come right out the restroom. Now you know better than to just come out the restroom without washing your hands. You need to wash your hands, especially in public places like we touching on the knob when we going in the restroom probably, or we touching on the door handle because we gotta close the bathroom, the stall behind us. Then we gotta touch unless it's touchless, they had a knob and stuff like that. So of course I'm gonna wash my hands. And when I get ready to come out the door, if I gotta open the door handle, I'm gonna use my paper towel to open the door with. So it's always good to wash your hands. Now, sometimes I don't wash my hands when I'm in the salon. Like, say I've been to shampoo someone hair and I mold them down or whatnot, or I've been to get ready to curl them. Only how I'm gonna go right on and wash my hands because I got product on my hand. I got that mousse on my hand that may start having my hand feel a little funny, or I got the spritz on my hand that may have my hand feeling funny. But I'm a I don't feel like it's just got the germs like that on there. Now if I get the coughing and rub my nose and stuff like that, then yes, I want to go ahead on and go wash my hands at the bowl because again, I don't want to spread nothing to my people because it's like a ricochet. When if I'm sick, then I get you sick, then you get everybody in your house sick, then they going to get folks sick. They might got to go to school or wherever. It's just like a ricochet effect. It just trickles down. And I know I always used to say I didn't understand how parents see their kids coughing, snotting, and booger nose and stuff, and you just send your kids to school for them to spread them germs. Like, your baby is sick. Take your baby either to the doctor or get your baby well before you return your child to school because that child gonna get another child sick because this child that's sitting next to them to their left, immune system might not be as weak as a child sitting to the right, or the teacher. So we have to be very aware when it comes to cleanliness, and like it tells us to sneeze in our elbow. That's stuff we have to teach our kids as well when they are small and to take that along with them along the way because again, germs spread. They get airborne. They it's coming out. We might not see them, but they coming out. So we have to be very cautious about that. Um, and like I said, everybody gets sick. It might just not, like you had said earlier, it might not be as bad as others, but we all get sick in some kind of way. So we come to a check-in and it asks us, when should you take a sick day?
If you running a fever, if you like you could be contagious like the flu or something to that matter, stay at
Mm-hmm.
home.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. When you are really under the weather and you know you really under the weather, you need to stay at home. So we're gonna stop right there. At that check-in. And when we come back on Thursday, we'll talk about identify common beauty professional health issues. Um, she touched on the chapter 1 through 4. Did you get a chance to go to check your study guide out?
I did.
Okay, great. Um, Try to go over there. I think she's saying that she's gonna drop the test for it Wednesday, and it'll be due Sunday by 11:59. But I only think that the only thing about it is it'll be not reworded. I think she said it's going to be the study guide, but it's going to be like not exactly the same. She might mix the questions around. So try to study that on your downtime or in between time. And again, like I said, we'll go into identifying common beauty professional health issues on Thursday. Um, I don't think I have a video for us to look at, and I think we cover a lot of ground on today when it came to um the health of the professional. We talked about the food intake. We talked about um explaining what a healthy professional is. We talked about the vitamins as well. We talked about getting adequate water. And we also talked about proper sleep um for a good immune system. So if do you have any questions? Is there anything you want me to go back over or want to discuss?
No, I don't. Everything's fine.
Everything's good? Okay, okay.
Uh-huh.
Well, it's 11:34. Um, I don't know if I could see if we got like a little 5 minute video on professional, the health of a professional, because I don't
Okay.
want to, get you off too soon, but at least close enough to 12.
Okay.
Okay, give me a second and let me find us a video.
Okay.
I really don't see any, and the one that I did see, it was just about the chapter we just was reading. And the other one was like, I guess, a test or talking about a test or whatnot. So I think we pretty much came to an end to where we where we at. So thank you for chiming in with to see about the water intake, what we need to take far as how much water. Thank you for always being responsive and giving great feedback. I really appreciate that. And it's 11:42, so I don't think there's much more that we need to discuss. You said you don't have any more questions. And again, like I said, you gave great feedback um every time I asked. So with that being said, again, just study over your study guide. Um we'll pick back up on Thursday um with the identify common beauty professional health issues, and that's really all I have for you. Again, like I said, unless you have something else that you want to add or you know talk about, um, I just say you can have the rest of your morning. Enjoy the rest of your morning.
All right, thank you.
All right, you have a good one.
You too.